Hi guys, welcome back to The Beautiful Truth. So today I am coming to you with a video that I think you guys are going to be interested in. This is the type of video that I particularly love to watch, and that is, it is my most disappointing products of 2014. I've tried quite a few products this year, so it's bound to happen that when you're trying so many different things out, that you're going to find some things that just didn't work for you, or some things that didn't live up to the hype, or in my case I have found some things that are just absolutely rubbish. So I might as well get stuck right in and show you guys my most disappointing products of 2014. First product up is going to be a controversial enough one, as this has been much raved about by many beauty bloggers, and that is the LORAC Pro Palette. I personally just do not get the appeal of this, and I found it to be completely and utterly disappointing. I tried to get this last January when I was in the States. I searched high and low. I must have driven to every Ulta in the state of Florida and tried online, but it was sold out everywhere. So when I went back in July, I managed to get my hands on it, and I was chuffed. I was just absolutely delighted that I got it. So when I got it home and gave it a go, I was just so disappointed. It actually broke my heart that I didn't like this. Now, I mean, in one sense, the reason that they work so well for people, some people, is that they are quite buttery and the colours are very pigmented. Like if we have a look at this garnet colour here, it's a kind of a rusty bronze colour. You can see just how pigmented they are. Like, you can't complain about pigmentation, and in fairness they feel quite buttery. But for me, where the real letdown is the combination of colours. I just find that they're all just really, really muddy looking. There's no other way of describing it, really. I find that no matter what way you put them on the eye, they all end up looking more or less the same. This has been hailed as a palette that can bring about 500 million different looks, and I really just don't get it. The only colours that really work for me is, as I said, the garnet colour and then the gold colour, and even at that I don't actually use the gold colour that much because it's a bit of an odd colour, an odd gold colour. I prefer a little bit more of a yellowy gold, then that's more of a bronzy gold. But for me, this palette is complete and utter hype, and it is not worth it. It's not expensive as far as palettes go, but it's hard to get your hands on, and it is just not worth it. Most of you will already know that I am a real fan of an eyeliner pen, so when one of the magazines were giving away the IKON skinny liner during the summer, I absolutely jumped on the chance of getting it because it was much, much cheaper getting it in the magazine than if you were to buy it in real life. This has been hailed as the be-all and end-all when it comes to pen liners, and I have to be honest, I don't get the hype. I have used this a good few times, and no matter what way I use it, with what colour eyeshadows or what type of eyeshadows, be it cream or powder, it just ends up not looking good. I find that there is really, really lacks pigmentation. When it goes onto the eye, it fades down really, really bad. I find that it wears away an awful lot during the day. While the nib itself is okay, I just don't like the product, as in what goes onto your eye. But as you can see there, it looks quite black, but it already has begun to fade even since I just applied that. And not only that, there is a big streak going down. Nobody wants a streaky eyeliner. I mean, it's hard enough to do a winged liner as it is. When you get it on, you want it to be perfect so you don't have to keep going over it, because the more you touch the eye, the more chances you have of messing up. Really just do not get the hype of the IKON skinny eyeliner. Moving on to lip products, I have a product here that I know has worked for many beauty bloggers, but it personally just hasn't worked for me, and that is the Max Factor lip glosses. Now, to be fair, if you are a fan of lip glosses, I think you will like them. I mean, they're not sticky. They wear okay on the lips, but where I find that they really, really let themselves down is the complete and utter lack of pigmentation. Now, I know lip glosses aren't meant to have like a big bang of pigmentation, but the thing is with these ones, if you look, I have here got Polished Fuchsia, and Polished Fuchsia looks like quite a strong pink colour, okay. Then Luxurious Berry, and finally I have Enchanting Coral. And I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera here, but the colours are more or less the same. Like, I personally would expect, if I was to look at the tube, that they all would look a little bit different on the lips, but when they went onto the lips, there really was absolutely no difference in them, and that's why I found them quite disappointing, because I actually really wanted to like them because they did feel comfortable on the lips. So my next product is one that really genuinely broke my heart because I really wanted to love this, and that is the Too Faced Melted Lipstick. This is one of those liquid lipsticks that is meant to set onto your lips and not budge for the day. Yeah, that didn't happen. Basically, this is applied using a sponge applicator onto the lips. Once it goes onto the lips, it is said to stay there, and you're meant to be able to wear it from morning to night. The colour will stay, you won't see much breakdown. Meant to be the be all and the end all, but sadly it is not. This colour is violet, and I bought this during the summer because it was a really bright purple and everybody was wearing purple, and I really thought this was a nice kind of pinky purple that would suit my skin tone. And it did, but the problem started the minute you applied it. So basically, I apply it on. I've tried it a few different ways. I've primed my lips, I've worn it with lip liners, without lip liners. So you apply it on, and within a few minutes of applying it, it basically nearly started to evaporate off my lip from the centre out. It was nearly like water on a hot kind of pan. And not only did it evaporate off my lips, it went up here, out here. I ended up walking down Grafton Street one afternoon with so much purple all over my face. I mean, I would rival Barney. It is just, the consistency of this is just awful. This is hands down the worst lip product I have ever tried. It is just that bad, and I don't say that lightly. Like, a lot of the times when I give reviews, I'll be like, oh yeah, I really didn't like it, but it might work for you. No, this is absolute muck. There is no ifs, buts or maybes. But this leads me into something that is a little bit kind of topical, I suppose, because in the States, Too Faced did a massive PR drop. It seemed that every single beauty blogger and its mother had a range of these Too Faced lip lacquers or liquid lipsticks last summer. And I see again, they've released a new range of colours and the exact same thing has gone out. And I'm really disappointed to see that so many of them just rave about them. Like, I mean, it can happen that people love things and I don't. Like, I mean, it can happen that I love something and you won't like it. But this is just so absolutely crap. There is no way that this could be good in any way. Like, maybe I got a dodgy one. That is the only thing I could put it down to. Maybe I got a faulty one. But this is just that bad. Like, that bad, that there is no way this could work for anybody. I'm going to go to another lip product, and while I know so many people love this, absolutely adore this, it just didn't work for me, and it's the MAC Heroine Lipstick. I absolutely looked like death warmed up when I put this on. I looked like the worst kind of gothic version of myself, and there's nothing wrong with gothic makeup, whatever you're into, but on me, oh my god, it just looked horrendous. I'd say I've worn this maybe 3 times and I've taken it off within an hour each time. I'm so sad because I really wanted to like this, and I've seen it on so many people and it looked really good. But this is just a case of, I can't buy into trends. I have to wear what suits me. I'm a little bit old now for buying into all the trends all the time, and I have to go, well, what is age appropriate and skin tone appropriate and just personality appropriate. I mean, really, Sinead, what in God's name were you thinking? So I'm going to move on to concealers, and I have 2 concealers that I just found quite disappointing. And again, I'm actually probably going to offend a few people with my next one, but I really just don't get the appeal of the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection Concealer. I found this to be cakey. I found it to go into every single line on my face, and as I don't have many lines, but this found them. In fact, I think it actually made new ones. I found it didn't wear well during the day. It did a decent enough job of covering my dark circles, but then I have loads of concealers that do a good job at that. I just think that the wear on this is just what really let it down for me. And I know I really wanted to love this because I know so many of you do, but yeah, no, don't get the hype whatsoever. The next one is on the other end of the spectrum when it comes to budget, and it was one I was promised would be my saving grace for my dark circle. I have bad problems with dark circles. I have thyroid issues, and when you've thyroid problems, your sleep is something that's really affected, and you're constantly, when you're hypothyroid, you're constantly feeling tired. Like there's days that I could crawl into the bed and sleep for 4 days in a row if I was let. So my dark circles is something that bothers me, not all the time, but quite a lot of the time. So I'm constantly on the hunt for something to cover them. Now, they don't seem to be too bad at the moment, but I was promised that this would help me on my worst days with my dark circles. And that is the Bobbi Brown Corrector and Concealer and Setting Powder. This makes me so sad, because I actually think I spent about 60 odd euro on this because I was told it would be good. See, I actually don't mind spending on something if it works, but this just didn't work for me. So you see, it's how you work it is, basically you apply the corrector first, and I was applying the corrector just a little bit here, up underneath my eyes, and blending, like only a very, very small amount. Now, then you applied the concealer, blended it, and set it with the setting powder so it wouldn't work. The problem is that within about 10 minutes, this stuff aged me about 10 years. Like with the Lasting Perfection Concealer, it settled everywhere. It settled, I mean, every single line I have, it went into it. It went everywhere. Not only that, it broke down really, really badly, and it looked really patchy underneath the eyes, and it just made my under eye area look like a complete and utter hot mess. I do use the corrector every so often. Like, the corrector isn't the worst of them, so every so often I will go back into that again, but it's just not great when you consider the price of them. There are so many better concealers out. In fact, I think your money is much better spent on the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. Like, I think this does a better job than the 2 of these or the 3 of these bits together, and that's only like 11 or 12 euro. I love this. I really, really love this. The next one is one that I know an awful lot of you are not going to agree with me on, and that is the Rimmel Wake Me Up foundation. I'm really sorry, but it's just, no, it's not for me. Here's the thing with foundations. I always find it hard recommending a foundation to someone, because what works on my skin might not necessarily work on your skin. So just because I'm saying this one I didn't like, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it didn't work for me. Basically, what happened with this is it went on, looked lovely and dewy. Within an hour, I was like patchy, patchy, patchy all over my face. It was, the wear down on this was just awful on my face. Also, wasn't that much of a fan of the colour of it. I found it hard to get a colour to match my skin type. I am a devil for buying high-end foundations. I know I am. I've so many of them, and I really am on the hunt for a budget foundation, because I mean, I don't want to be putting on 40 euro worth of foundation onto my face every single day to stand in front of children and talk. I mean, they're not going to go, oh, Miss Kavanagh, the coverage of that foundation is so lovely. No, not going to happen. So I really just want to try and get a budget foundation that I can use from day to day. So if any of you have got any recommendations, I'd love if you could leave a comment down below, but sadly the Rimmel Wake Me Up was just not for me. Like with most things I've included in this video, this is one that I know loads of people love, but it just is not for me, and that is the Glam Glow Youth Tingling Exfoliating Mud Mask. This has been raved about by so many people. It seems that all the Hollywood stars use this before a big night out. I've seen it on Expose, I've seen it on Ireland AM, I've seen it on all these different shows saying how wonderful this is for your skin. I was given a few samples of this to try. 2 months ago, I had a big thing coming up where I was going to be in front of the camera for a day, and I needed my skin to look good. So that night I said, right, this is the perfect time to use this. I heard so many good things about it. I need my skin to be looking absolutely amazing the next day. Let's get this on the face. So put it on my face, applied it on. There was all these kind of bits of kind of weeds in it. I actually think they were weeds, and I was like, what's the point of these anyway? I put them all on, let it dry on, washed it all off. Face felt lovely and soft. Was delighted with myself until the next day, and I nearly cried when I felt my skin. My skin had literally had the life sucked out of it. It felt really dehydrated. It felt like there was kind of dry bits coming up. All around my nose had dry bits. And then not only that, within a few days of that, I broke out in all these kind of little raised blistery bits here. The following week, actually, after I applied this, I went into Nilu's in Arnott's. Now, if you read the blog, you'll have heard me mention Nilu's before. Nilu is this skincare guru that is in Arnott's, and basically you go in and you don't say what you want as such. She analyses your skin and tells you what you need. I swear to God, she is a miracle worker. If you are, it's expensive. Like, the treatment I got was called the Perfection treatment, or Perfector treatment, I think it was called. And I think it was 175 quid, so it is expensive. But if you're getting married or you have something really, really special coming up, go into her. I swear to God, she will change your life. My skin since then has been flawless. But anyway, my point was, when I went in there, she asked me had I used any new products recently, because she was commenting all about the little blistery things up the top of my skin, and basically she agreed that my skin had just not liked this whatsoever. Now again, like with most things I recommend, or with most things that I don't like, I'm not saying that this is really, really bad. What I'm saying was it was really, really bad for me. I also will say that I think it is overhyped. I reckon there is masks out there, like the Una Brennan Super Facialist Mask, I feel does a much better job than this, and at a fraction of the price, and you get way more product. Now again, it's not about price. Like, as I said, I will pay for skincare. You want your skin to look good, but this I personally don't think is worth the hype. So that is my most disappointing products of 2014. I hope you guys liked. I hope I didn't offend anybody. If you have tried the products that I didn't like and you actually liked them, let me know in the comment section down below, because I genuinely would love to know. Also, if you tried them and you found that they didn't work for you, let me know, because it means that I'm not going crazy. Because sometimes I read so many reviews and everybody is raving about it so much that I'm like, what is wrong with me? Am I just a weirdo that things don't work for? Sometimes I think I try and find fault in things, but the products I have mentioned today are genuinely things that I either really, really hated, stuff that just were a little bit of a letdown, like the Max Factor lip gloss. Anyway, I'd love if you guys could subscribe. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked the video, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye!